G'day guys, and welcome to today's video. So today's video is going to be the first video in a series of videos that is going to be, I guess you could call it a long-term project. Now I've kind of been trying to figure out a name to call this series of videos, and probably the easiest, I guess you could say, name or title for this project is the HPI RS4 Project Speed. Now I know some of you are probably, hang on a second, just give me a second. Sorry, a bit of dust, my OCD was starting to twitch. Some of you are probably thinking, oh, what's the go? So I'm having a little bit of a break from racing. Not leaving it, but I'm just having a bit of a break from it. I'm not enjoying it as much as what I used to, but I'm still doing things RC with cars and planes. And I was just thinking to myself, what's something I can do while I'm not racing? And like I've got, I've got my drag cars and, drift cars and so forth, but I wanted to do something that's a little bit different, but it also is done. And so what I'm doing is I'm going to have a go at doing some speed runs, and some of you will know what I mean. Some of you might have heard of a person named Raz Shifrin from Israel. He makes some really cool speed cars. So I'm going to do a bit of that, and I chose, and I'm not going to be as hardcore as Raz Shifrin or some others, but doing it for a bit of fun, something different for the channel. So let's go and have a look at the workbench, at what I've got. So this is what I got, guys. It is a HPI RS4 Sport 3 Creator Edition. Now, I know off the bat some of you are probably thinking, oh, Gav, why did you choose that? Why didn't you go for this car or that car, or make something completely custom? Yeah, I could have done that. However, I wanted to do something a little bit different. And I was scrolling through the webs, and this was on sale from Frontline Hobbies in Newcastle, and it's different. It's also shaft drive. But one thing I didn't realize is, see, I thought this was going to be a build-up kit, and what I was going to do is I was going to do a time lapse of building the chassis. And some of you who have one of these will know where I'm going with this, but when I opened the box, I was greeted with a manual and a partially assembled chassis. So there is a little bit of assembly required. I have taken this out, so I'll take this out here. We will yeet the box out of the way. Sorry, Coco, I almost gotcha. So here it is, guys. So I'll just sit down in my chair here. So we have this RS4 Sport 3, as it's called, the Creator Edition. So the idea is you have this car and you can create whatever you want with it. Like I said, this is a shaft drive chassis. It's electric, obviously. It's a 190mm wide chassis, so you can do anything from like a classic muscle car to a touring car or anything like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a speed run car. Like I said, something different. I do have, because I expected this to be a build-up chassis, I was going to not use the solid links, camber links here. I have some racing ones on the way, but what I will do is off camera I'm going to disassemble this because I was going to fill the diffs with 2 million weight diff fluid, but I also feels like there's a lot of binding in the drive line. So what I'm going to do off camera is I'm going to disassemble it, and we'll have a little look inside at what the go is, and we'll continue from there. Alright guys, so I'm in the middle of going over the chassis, and what I've done is, so I've done the rear diff. I have cleaned it, and what I'm doing is I'm putting Corelli 2 million weight diff oil in. Well, it's called diff syrup. It is really thick, and it's really just for the car to be able to cope with the power that I will put through this. But one of the things I don't like about whether it's a ready to run or in this case a pre-assembled kit is you'll get people who you'll get a kit in, like my case, what we would call the Friday afternoon special, and by that I mean, you know, it's Friday afternoon and people wanting the knockoff work, so they're going to punch through it to get it done. And come across to the front diff here, and I'm not sure if it's showing up very well, but as you can see, whoever assembled the front diff, if I get it focused, whoever assembled the front diff didn't align the gasket properly, and as you can see, there are 2 holes for each side. And so what they've done is, instead of taking the gasket off again and realigning it properly, they've just decided, bugger it, I'm just going to send it. And that's what they've done, is they've just put it on and just shoved the screws in through the ring gear here and through the gasket, and I don't think I can use this gasket. I'll try and be careful, because yeah, I'm gonna have to be careful with this gasket and taking it off, but it looks like I'm gonna have to order a new gasket, diff gasket. But yeah, it's the one thing I don't like about your ready to run and your almost ready to run cars, is there's always someone who manages to cock it up. That's my little rant for this video, but we'll come back and we'll see and come back to further progress. Alright guys, so I've made a bit of progress. So I have redone the diffs, I've redone the shocks. They were a bit squelchy. So what I'm doing now is, so I've put a servo in. I've got a Savox, what is it again? It is a Savox 1251 metal geared low profile servo. I am currently going to use my Axion, my Hi-Tech Lynx 4S radio. So I've got the Hi-Tech Axion receiver in. To start off with, I've got a Team Wave 7.5 turn motor in, and I'm going to be using this Speed Passion speed controller. I know some of you guys might be absolutely flipping out right now. Just remember, this is, I'm just starting out with this. I'm not taking it overly serious. Just something to have a bit of fun with and see how I go with it. I've also got these are, I forget what brand they're new, but they're fairly old, but they're new. I've never used them because I used to race Nitro Touring Car years ago, and so I just had these laying about. So these are 42 Shore foam tires that I'll use, and hopefully they'll be fine. What I will do is, before I give it its first run, I am waiting for some adjustable camber links to arrive. They might be here soon. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to fit the speed controller. I'm going to desolder these wires, the motor wires here, and put some short. I'm going to put some different wire on. Like I could use these wires, but they're 14 Aug. I'm going to put some 12 Aug on, just to cope with the current, and we'll see how we go from there. So what I'll do is I'll do it off camera, and I'll be back. All right, so made some more progress. The chassis itself is in a runnable state, and by that, as you can see, I have the servo, motor and speedy and battery and receiver all connected. I have the pinion gear in. It's a 32 tooth, if I remember correctly. I know some of you are probably thinking, crikey, 7.5 turn, 32 teeth. That's going to be a bit of a load. Just remember, I'm doing this as a speed run car, so it's going to be going in one direction. No pun intended to the music group. But yeah, so it's in a runnable state. I still have to fit the... I'm of two minds. So I have the bumper here. However, the shell hasn't arrived for it yet. It might be here in the next couple of days while I'm filming. So I hope to have this all completed for the first video. Yeah, the shell that I have coming for it, the kind of shell that I have, I don't know if the bumper will foul on it, so I'll have to wait and see whether or not I'll use it, and if I will use it, if I can, if it will fit. I'm also thinking, I have some carbon fiber laying about, and I'm thinking of making, have to excuse me, I'm having a bit of a hay fever attack. I'm thinking of making, because this front bit here can be detached, I'm thinking of making a front, I guess you call it a front diffuser or a front air dam, I forget what the correct term is, or a front splitter that will so remove this bit here, and have a carbon fiber splitter up the front that will extend past underneath the body, just for a bit of aerodynamics. But we'll see how we go with it first. I'll wait till the body gets here. So yeah, like I said, it's in a runnable state now. So I might just off camera give it a quick wrap up the street just to make sure it's working properly, and we'll continue from there, guys. Alrighty guys, so while I am waiting for the body to arrive, I have put the front bumper on. I took this off here, this front part here, and because as I said, I was thinking of making a carbon fiber plate for as the front diffuser. However, that's not going to work because part of it, the molding has to work with the hinge pins and whatnot, so that's not going to happen. I might work something out later on. I might even take off the foam bumper here later on and 3D print something, I don't know, but for the time being I just have the bumper on. And in between filming here, the delivery guy has been, and the camber links have turned up, so we're going to put those on. Alright, so I have put the camber links on. I could have gotten the HPI ones, however these 3 racing ones I liked them because the orange anodizing, thought it looked pretty cool. So as you can probably tell, it's all out of whack. So what I'm going to do is I have a 1/10 scale setup station, so I'm going to be able to set the camber and the front toe for it, so it's running true, I guess you could say. So really the next thing, I mean, apart from doing that, the next thing is the body, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause it here. I'm going to wait for the body and paint it up on camera and get it all mounted and whatnot, and that will be so the next clip will be the reveal. All right, guys, so here it is, essentially finished. This is the body I bought for it. So it's a Blitz Le Mans style shell. So this is the kind of shell that you would normally see on an 8 scale pan car. However, they do make them for 10 scale, and it's a 200mm wide body. So, and that's why, as you can see here, I haven't cut out the wheels, the wheel well, I guess you would call it. I wanted to keep them, keep the wheels completely enclosed. Now, some will mention about the height. I understand. However, I'm going to have to do a bit of customizing with the front shock tower. So I'll just give you a quick look around, and as you can see here, I have, these are the holes originally. However, I've had to bring the body forward a bit so it can actually sit down a little bit lower, because the front shock tower is actually hitting on the body and preventing it from going down any lower, and which is why you got that bit of a gap. So what I'm going to have to do, well, what I'll do is I'll take the body clips off. It's a bit annoying having to drill an extra set of holes. It makes the body look a little bit tacky, but so as I was saying, so the shock tower here is fouling on the body and preventing it from going down lower. I've also had to take off the I had the bumper on. I had to take it off as well. So what I'm going to do is I've got some carbon fiber, and I'm going to make a custom shock tower. And what I'm going to do is the geometry is going to be the same, and it'll be essentially the same shock holes. However, it's going to be shorter, if that makes sense. So it won't have this excess on the shock towers here. But yeah, so to give you a quick rundown on what I've done. So wheels and tires, I found the box that they came in. They are Anetti foams in 42 Shore compound. I'm using a Savox metal geared low profile servo. For the time being, guys, for motor and speed controller, I'm using a Speed Passion Reventon, I think it's the S or the R, the Reventon Pro, sorry, the Reventon Pro speed controller. It's a no limit speed controller. At the moment I am using a Team Wave 7.5 turn motor. and I'm using at the moment a 32 tooth pinion. I know some of you might be thinking that's pretty tall, but don't forget, speed runs, it's only going in one direction, so it's not having to worry about going around corners or things like that. I'm using 2 million weight oil in the diff, front and rear, and if I remember correctly, it was 50 weight oil in the shock absorbers. So guys, that's really it. That's the end of this video. So part 1 of this series is really just going to be the initial build, and the next video is going to be test runs. Now I know some of you will have some things to say, that's fine. If you have something, some constructive tips or things like that, because I'm new to this speed run stuff, I've seen it on YouTube. If you got any tips or things like that, I'm all ears. But next video, guys, we'll be doing some test runs to see how this goes. So stay tuned and enjoy your hobby, and cheers.